Hello, I'm Jeffrey Allman, yoga teacher, meditation guide, mindfulness coach. Today, we're going to talk about UJJAYI breathing, or the ocean breath, the sound of the sea. This is one of the most basic breaths, maybe. I don't know if I like the idea of using the word basic, but simple. One of the first breaths that perhaps you should learn for practicing yoga and meditation and mindfulness in general, or just life. Oftentimes I'll be talking to folks and they'll go, I can't do yoga. I can't meditate. And I'll say, do you ever take a deep breath? Do you ever do that? You take a breath. You're practicing yoga. Pranayama. Yeah. That's what yoga is all about, is just focusing on your breath. Getting rid of yesterday and tomorrow, not thinking about the list, not regretting, not judging yourself or anyone else, just being in this moment and focusing on the breath. Is it possible to have your mind completely clear of everything? Probably not. Is it possible to notice when your mind is trailing off? Yeah, that's mindfulness. That's stepping into awareness. And a good way to do that is focusing on your breath, especially your exhale. And with the UJJAYI breath, the sound makes it a lot easier to breathe. And a lot of my yoga students, especially beginners, are like, I don't get it. It's so complicated. And then once you get it, it's like, yes, you get it. Okay. So we're going to start with our mouth open, but ultimately the UJJAYI breath should be done, or most often is done, through the nose. I don't want to say there's any way not to do it. First of all, your nose might be plugged up. Yeah, you may not be breathing clearly. You may have an issue with your nostrils or your nose that prevents you from the classic breath. But we'll teach the classic breath today, and I encourage you to modify it for you. As always, bring the practice to you, not you to your practice. So I'm going to start with my mouth open, the sound of the ocean, the sound of the sea. And notice, just as I was exhaling, and maybe you didn't notice, but my whole body is relaxing. My jaw is relaxing. And you may not know it, but pay attention when you sigh, when you let go. Hear that sound of the roaring ocean, that sound of the wind, the leaves in the tree, the sound of the living earth. It ties us all together, our breath. Many of us could go without eating for a while, maybe even drinking water, but you gotta breathe pretty much all the time. So make it intentional. Now here's the trick, that sound of the sea, that sound of the ocean, a good trick is to close your lips in the middle of that exhale and then notice the redirection of air that would have normally been coming out through your mouth. It'll swirl where your nose meets your throat. And you may not notice it, but start to pay attention that when you're doing this sound, there's a little contraction in your throat. So between that contraction, your lips closing, and that swirling at the back, you'll start to hear that noise, but it'll be even more clearly the sound of the ocean, or the leaves, the wind, and the trees. Let's try it together. Hopefully my microphone is picking that up. Try it again. Hopefully you can hear that. And then you want to try to duplicate that sound, which is actually, and honestly, a little more difficult on the way in, but it's done with that same swirling air and that same constricted throat muscle. And it's not intense. It's not something to labor over or to worry about. You'll fall into it. It'll just make sense. And it'll be super for relaxing and focusing. And here's a little interesting note. Sometimes UJJAYI breath, for some of us, because of the constriction in the throat, because of the concentration and the focus on the breath, could actually build a little heat. So you may even find yourself sweating. You may experience that. But it's also really good for focus. And just because you're creating heat in your body doesn't mean that it's not also relaxing you. Oftentimes, the reason we can't fall asleep at night is because we're ruminating, because our mind is wandering and we're worrying about this list and this anxiety, this to-do, or this drama, whatever it is. So something as simple as UJJAYI breathing could help you find focus. More popularly, it can help you find focus in postures in yoga, asana practice. When it gets really tough, your inclination might be like to hyperventilate or hold your breath. And instead, lean into this expansive UJJAYI breath in and out. Let's try to get together again. It may even help to visualize the sea, to visualize the leaves in the trees. And it's really good. You're holding that intense plank and you think, oh, I can't do this. Find that beautiful ebb and flow of the sea in your breath, the life, the energy. All the strength, all the focus you need, you'll bring in that controlled inhale, that UJJAYI inhale. And then you'll continue it deeper into your posture in that UJJAYI exhale, making your entire practice a mindfulness meditation, focusing on your breath. And secondarily, you might just go through the practice, the physical practice, especially if it's guided by a teacher, just taking whatever cue they're saying and bringing it directly into motion, relying on your muscle memory, your knowledge of asanas to really take you through your practice. And as you advance, focusing on only your breath, and your body just does the rest. Your state of mind, make that the priority, and state of body will follow. So let's UJJAYI breath again today, or again together, I should say. Let's try 5 breaths in and out through the nose and really focus on that sound of the sea, that swirl where your nose meets your throat. You'll notice I closed my eyes. I tried to keep good posture. If you notice your shoulders slouching, it's easier, it's better, and it's more wonderful just in general to hold good posture. Your shoulders back, your crown elevated, your abdominals engaged, your spine, each vertebra stacked one atop the next. Yeah, this is a Burmese posture, so a lot of surface area the way I'm sitting. You don't have to sit like this. You could be cross-legged, you could be sitting, you could be laying down. It's just about practicing this concentration, this focus on your breath. Once you can start to do that, and especially when you can start to do that in difficult situations, whether it's on the mat or off the mat, you're really going to start to take your mindfulness practice to new levels. And I don't believe there's any advanced level, but new levels of focus for you. Being able to sleep better, digest better, deal with stressful situations better, get through physical practices. I hate to use the word better, but with more control, with more balance in postures and depth in your body, expanse in your breath. So that's UJJAYI breathing. This is just an introduction. I'm sure I'll have a lot more videos. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you'd like to see more of. This is Yoga with Jeffrey. Thank you guys so much. Stay curious. Be wonderful. Namaste.